Hey Barbend, my name is Joe Gambino. Today I'm here with Jake from Barbend. We're here at Perfect Stride. Today we're going to go over some concepts for ankle stability using kinesiology tape. Just as a disclaimer, guys, this tape is not going to correct their injuries. This is not meant to diagnose injuries. So if you have pain, discomfort, if you're really dealing with some issues, I would go seek out a medical provider near you just to figure out what's going on. This is just going to be some supplemental stuff just to help with some issues you may be dealing with working out or performance-based. So when we're taping for stability, we're not really giving you stability. If you look at this tape, it's actually quite flexible. So if you were to rip this off, you could actually put a good amount of stretch onto this tape. So if you think about taping, like a brace will give you this nice strong stability for when you're doing stuff so you don't roll an ankle. This tape's not going to do that. The reason why we say it gives you stability is because it gives you this perception of stability. So when we place this tape on your skin, you're getting this light touch to your skin. And what research kind of tells us is that our skin is highly connected to our brain, and as we give yourself some light touch to an area that you may not or may not have enough proprioception or that sense of stability with, this tape will help connect your brain to that area, making you feel like you have stability there. So when you have the tape, you may even notice you have some limited range of motion with the ankle, which we talk about today, or say the shoulder, for instance, and we put this tape on you, your brain will be a little bit more connected with the area. The skin is this nice, large sensory organ that connects you to everything from the environment directly to your brain. So you may notice you have improved range of motion, this better feeling of stability throughout the ankle joint, and that is what we're aiming to do with this tape today. So the first thing to know when we're applying tape is that we want to cut the edges in a kind of a circular fashion. This will help prevent or decrease the ability for the tape to actually get caught on your socks and your pants. So just simply making just a nice circular cut, trimming the edges, both sides. All right, and we have it here. When we're applying the tape, the backing comes off really easily. For this application here, we're going to just kind of rip down the middle of the tape here. So we grab it, we just tip, kind of rotate the tape a little bit and peel apart, and then we have this kind of nice little band-aid effect here. All right, we're going to take it down to the heel. So when we take the foot, we're going to position it in a neutral position. So we're looking at kind of like a 90-degree angle here. We will take the tape now. You don't need any stretch here, but we're going to apply it right over kind of the arch, almost around the heel here. And then you're just going to give a little rub because it's heat sensitive. So rubbing will help the adhesive get onto the skin a little bit better. From here, we're going to go start from one side. We peel off. We want to leave about like an inch or two for the anchor. This is going to have no stretch. It's just the final piece, putting it back onto the skin. But what we're going to do here is we're going to offer some stretch onto the tape. We're going to kind of place this tissue on stretch. So we're going to pull the foot away from the side that we're pulling on. Give it that stretch. Use your hand to get it onto the skin. We're coming right over that ankle bone here, the malleolus, and that last bit of anchor gets no stretch at all. And then we rub for that application of heat to get that to stick. And then we just do the opposite. So now we point this foot in the other direction. We take our other side, that same 2-inch anchor, 1-inch anchor, give it that nice stretch. We come up and we end up right over that other ankle bone, the other malleolus. All right, and then we have our other piece here. All right, same kind of application here. We're going to start from behind, right, kind of at where the Achilles is over here. And same thing, peel it out, a couple inches. We just want to make sure that when we are applying tape, we're not applying tape that lands on the tape. We want it to end on the skin because, again, right, we're trying to connect with the skin, not with other tape, because we want to have all that sensory information going directly to the skin. So a little bit of stretch here, get it right up on. Same thing on this side. There you have it. Little kinesiology taping for ankle stability. For self-application for the ankle taping, we're going to have Jake here do it himself. So you get into whatever position is comfortable. So if you don't have enough mobility to reach out all the way here, you can bend your knee a little bit more, put your foot on the table, that's fine. Right, because all we're looking for is making sure that we have this nice 90-degree angle here. So you want to have the ankle in a neutral position. Then what I'm going to have Jake do is kind of rip the tape in half so you can give it this little spin motion. And then you're just going to pull the backing apart, perfect. And then you're going to give it a little peel so it looks like you have a band-aid. Alright, you're going to take that and you're going to apply it directly to the bottom of the foot, kind of around where the heel is, just a little above that heel. And you're going to go, and just, you can let go of both sides there. First thing before you apply one side is you're going to twist your foot away from the side that you're putting the tape on. So now what I'm going to have Jake do is pull on the tape a little bit to give it, you can kind of get a feel for it. So if you pull as far as you can, that would be like 100% stretch, and then just back off so there's like 50% stretch onto that tape, and then he can nice and easily slide that right over that ankle bone there, that medial malleolus, and then you give us a nice rub to get the adhesive to stick onto your skin a little bit better. And for the other side, we just have Jake roll his foot in the other direction. He'll get that same little pull, that 2-inch anchor, and he's going to pull it up right over the outside malleolus there, and that nice rubbing effect to get it to stick better. Now we're going to take a second piece. I'm going to do the same band-aid rip. And then we're going to have him place it here, right at where the bottom of where the Achilles tendon is here. Alright. This one, make sure we're still neutral. We're going to peel back that edge, give yourself a little space, give it a nice good tug. Reach up and over.
So it's ending on the skin, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We want to keep as much sensory information to the skin as possible. This way we're connecting our skin to our brain, and we're not just putting tape on tapes, and you're not going to get that same sensory feedback. And that's how we're going to apply some tape for ankle stability.
Alright, so I have a couple questions about the self-application, and the first is, for super hairy legs or body parts, what are some tips you can give us on when to apply and like the best way of getting it so it's not just coming off in the hair?
So always, one of the applications, so because this stuff can get wet and it will sound pretty well, but if you do have wet skin or you're sweating, you put this on after the warm up or something like that, you do want to kind of dry off the skin pretty well. Maybe put some like Purell or something on that because it will dry the skin pretty well if you have like lotion on before, something like that. Putting on the tape, there's really, unless you're shaving the area, I mean your hair's going to get caught a little bit, that's just kind of part of the battle. But there are some techniques, at least taking it off, that you can do that will decrease how painful it is, because if you pull it off like a band-aid, you will give yourself a wax job. So we want to kind of avoid that. So usually what I'll do is you're going to go in the direction of the hair. So if you had a piece up here that was coming down, you would just peel off the top, and then we're doing this slide motion to come off. So if you imagine I had this piece, but I was just moving in this direction, I would just take, you know, find an edge so that you can peel it off, and then once you have it, you just take your hand and you can either slide it off or you can pinch down on the skin and pull. So that will start to make it a little bit easier to come off your skin, and it's not just going to yank your hair out.
Gotcha. And then also, so when we applied the bottom tape, you had me invert my foot. So why is that, and how much does that matter for the actual stability of the tape?
So what we're looking at, right, we talk about how we want sensory input from the skin going to our brain. So if we just keep our foot here, right, if we think about this tape being on here, if I just took this off and I had it on here, right, every time I was to move his foot, right, there's this stretching happening on the tape when you move. So what we do is we give you this little bit, we put you in this motion so we're stretched out, so when we put it, so now when you're moving in directions, you're getting a little bit more shearing on the skin.
Gotcha.
So that's why we will bias you in a position of stretch before we place on the tape.
Cool.
So now you have this little bit more shearing going on, you'll have a little more sensation to the skin, which will then affect that perception of stability.
And one more question. When it comes to application and the more you stretch it, that's going to be the time it's going to hold and feel, right?
Yeah, you will definitely get more feedback the more stretch. If you do 100% stretch in this position, the second you move out of it, you're going to get a feeling of stretch of the tape.
Gotcha.
As far as I know, the research doesn't necessarily, they used to tell you if you had this 20%, you do this for 50%. The research doesn't necessarily support the fact that you need to put a certain amount of stretch on. I like to put 30 to 50% stretch on the tape just so there's some extra feedback there. But as far as you need to put an exact specific percentage, I haven't found that to be specifically useful or any benefit over a different percentage.
Cool. And then rubbing wise, you just rub in until you feel a heat, or is there a certain time allotment?
You're not going to feel heat. You just want to give this just nice, like, quick 1-2, and that will just help it stick a little better. It's not like you don't have to spend 5 minutes or take a blow dryer to it and heat it up.
Cool. To conclude our video of taping for ankle stability, a big thank you to Joe Gambino at Perfect Stride. To read more, check out the article below or visit us at barbin.com.